What ho chaps, how the devil? Now, today I was going to do one of my favourite things in the world for a video, and it was to go and have a look at libs of TikTok and engage in a little gentle mockery of the absolute freak show that seems to have pitched its tent on their lawn, because every time you go on the libs of TikTok Twitter account, it's comedy gold. Whether it's morbidly obese, purple-haired heffalumps shaking the bingo wings at the coppers, or scrawny, straw-limbed, histrionic soy boys shaking the dildos at people in the streets, you know, parading outside primary schools with gimps on chains. It's just an endless supply of cheap, lowbrow laughs. But I'm going to do a video about Kamala Harris instead, because let me tell you, I wouldn't trust her to be the dinner lady at the local elementary school, to use the American parlance. I wouldn't trust her raggedy ass to hand out blueberry muffins and fucking hash browns to kindergartners. The woman is a human chicken McNugget, and she's about as popular as a bastard at a family reunion. Just look at this video here.
Good afternoon. I want to welcome these leaders for coming in to have this very important discussion about some of the most pressing issues of our time. I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her. I am a woman sitting at the table wearing a blue suit. And
some of the most pressing issues of our day. That's what she said. We're here to talk about some of the most pressing issues of the day. So what? We're not going to talk about endless war, global war, Libya's on fire, Yemen's still fucked, Ukraine's been reduced to rubble, and everybody with a hole in their arse saw it coming. We started staggering over the hill 20 miles away. Recession that they're now renaming because they want to pretend it's not happening. Food shortages, gas prices, chronic depression, 50 million depressed, mentally ill, self-harming twerkers are coming through the American high schools at this point. And she's obsessed with pronouns. Pronouns, something that hasn't confused humanity for the last 20,000 years. This is where when people like me say we're going backwards, I'm not trying to be funny or hyperbolic. I actually mean it. We're going backwards. This type of shit hasn't confused us for 20,000 years. When we were tilling the fields in our agrarian society 10,000 years ago, roughly about the time the Druids built Stonehenge, if you squatted in the field, squirted a nipper out, and had a quick look at it, a cursory glance to see whether it had a chopper or a minge, was all you needed to sort the pronouns out. It's not complicated, right? The woman is on the wrong side of every issue. She's pandering to a group of people that are probably, basically the talking points she brings up are popular with about 9% of the US electorate. And here's another good one from Yahoo News. Democrats and Republicans praise VP Harris's presence on campaign trail, but for very different reasons. You know what the reasons are going to be. Democrats and Republicans are praising plans for Kamala Harris having increased presence on the campaign trail ahead of this year's midterms, but for very different reasons. According to Politico, Harris and her team are planning to ramp up campaign and fundraising efforts across red and swing states in a bid to support Democrat state legislators and governors, as well as to call out Republican extremism. Fuck me backward. Extremism, because the oven window's shifted so much. The maniacs that are now running the world think anybody 2 steps to the right of Chairman Mao is a hardcore Nazi fascist. But calling for, 3-year-old girls to be affirmed as transgender, fill them full of drugs and lop the baps off is apparently reasonable centrism, is it? Is that where we're living? Extremism. The modern Republicans are objectively centrist because they've opened their arms to people like me, people like Salty Cracker, Tim Pool, left-wing normal people, Democrats, socially liberal people who can see that the world has gone absolutely mad and the left have lost their tiny minds. The Republicans have got closer to the centre. You've just turned into overt, deranged, delusional communists. Which is why the pool light in which the American public views Harris, however, raises questions over what sort of impact her presence on the campaign trail could have for those state-level candidates she intends to help. Yes, because they've got the fucking situational awareness of a house brick. They're as self-aware as a flip-flop. Just 39% of registered voters viewed her favourably. 56% viewed her unfavourably. No, it's worse than that. I live in California. I know plenty of Democrats. A lot of my wife's family are Democrat voters. Everybody hates Kamala Harris. She's as popular as a tramp's cock at the lesbian convention. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to even think about it. It is let's just have it said, she's an absolute godsend for the Republicans. She's like Diane Abbott is for the British Conservatives. I mean, just wheel it out, plonk it in front of the camera, and let the fucking McNugget have its say. Democrats see her involvement as an opportunity to shore up the party's message to voters. What, that you've all lost your fucking minds and you'll give anyone a job as long as they're a woman? As long as they've got a canny set of threepenny bits and a fucking gusset, you think they're a good candidate? That's what your message is. We'll hire people that are completely charmless, incapable and incompetent, as long as they tick some identity politics boxes, you fucking maniacs. While Republicans view it as another chance to remind voters why her favourability has been driven so low, honestly, she's cringe. The nervous laughs, the ridiculous sentences, the patronising hand waving, the endless repeating itself. She is a creature, a diversity hire. Everyone can see it. Black women can see it, lesbians can see it, Latinos, whatever you want to call it. Any group doesn't like Kamala Harris. She's not popular at all. She's as popular as a packet of pork scratchings at Osama bin Laden's house. Bacon butties at Ayatollah Sistani's stag do. Right? Nobody's interested. You've all seen the videos. I'm not going to bore you with a long one.
When it comes to the climate crisis, which is why we will work together and continue to work together to address these issues, to tackle these challenges, and to work together as we continue to work operating
together
the new norms, rules, and agreements that we will convene to work together on, to galvanize.
Just a fucking idiot. I don't know what else to say. Just a fucking idiot.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
Fuck me backwards. Honestly. And I'm not even starting on the cackling, the bizarre faces she pulls, or just the simple fact that she's seen more pricks than a second-hand dartboard. She was sucking pensioners' cocks when she was in her 20s to climb the slippery pole, the political pole, not the veiny old man's pole, the political pole. The woman is utterly charmless, utterly incapable, and worthy only of mockery. So who's this going to work out for? The Democrats or the Republicans? I think we all know, don't we? I think we all know. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you all for a live stream tomorrow. Cheers.